feel like I've said that before, though. Shindig, I feel like, is that not a word?
No, it's just the way you said it.
That is true. Yeah, that is very true. I've gotten told that before.
I wish we were already recording when you said that so we could have caught that.
Just embrace the awkward, Teddy.
Oh, I do it every single day. All right, here we go.
Our greatest cold open today.
We should do cold opens. That would be fun. Anyways, here we go. Okay, now that cold open idea just got me on a high horse. Spencer, yours. Oh, never mind. You just got 99%.
That right there is a perfect example.
What?
It has you on a high horse. What does that even mean?
Did I say that?
Yes.
No, I meant to say, I said 0% upload. When did I say? I don't remember saying that at all. It's too late for this. We need to talk about the Lorcana. Okay. And yeah, I might pick up like a Groot accent every now and again because my friends do it and I started to pick up on it. Anyways, all right, let's get this show on the road. Is that normal enough for you, Sean?
Yes, better.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to what is our Set 2 Rise of the Floodborn release episode. At the time of listening, it's November 17th. Rise of the Floodborn is officially here in your local game stores, and I'm honestly like shocked that it's like already Set 2. I don't know about you guys. I feel like just the other day we were at Gen Con talking it up with Ryan Miller and Steve Warner about Set 1 being released in a few weeks. But Sean, I'll go to you first. What's your going through your mind right now that obviously the time of recording Set 2 is later in the week, but that it's basically here. How are you feeling about that?
I'm not quite as excited about Set 2 as I was Set 1, and it's
Yeah.
very it's personal. Like it has no bearing on like how good the set is, because I think the set's really great. I think there's a lot of amazing cards, even more amazing arts that we're seeing from all the artists that are putting their work in. Definitely scared because we all already know the numbers aren't going to be what we want them to be. And the fact that I'm not going to Gen Con, I don't have that outlet. I don't have that way of getting product. So I'm gonna December 1st, because I don't have an LGS near me. Like I might go and check out some LGSs pretty far away from me. Chances are I won't have the time. So yeah, I'm December 1st. I'm gonna go hit some big box stores to hopefully get product that way. Still no guarantee. Yeah. So I'm a little worried. Hopefully by the time we see the next set 3, they have a lot of these problems worked out. We see higher numbers out of the gate because not a lot of people are doing it, but there are people that are leaving the game and a lot of people that are thinking about leaving the game, which is scary.
Yeah, I know that obviously this is Ravensburger's first time doing something like this, but also it is, like you said, very scary to see the possibility of people leaving the game and because still there's a lot of people who still haven't been able to get Set 1 product. And
exactly.
to already be here at Set 2 is something that's, I know I've talked to a few people. Like,
I do think the LGS restock that recently happened, I do think that has helped that a lot. I do think a lot of people that had no product at all have actually finally been able to get their hands on product, and not for a super duper crazy price. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but boxes are down to almost 200 on TCG Player.
Yeah,
which is not terrible. It's not terrible.
Yeah, I know it's tough, and I know like for all of us, it's been an interesting ride. It's been a wild ride. It's been a fun ride, but yeah, product has been something that has been always been talked about. But Blake, I'll go to you next. How are you preparing for the release of Set 2? What are your thoughts? Are the same as Sean's? Different? Where are you in that retrospect?
It's a lot of the same stress of trying to exhaust all of your resources in trying to just find the product. I have been luckier, and I have a couple of events lined up with certain people, and been able to talk and talk with some store owners and potentially work out some deals with the wave two of set two,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot of the same, where basically your best bet for launch is going to be going to launch events if they are near you, and
Exactly.
picking up your decks and earning whatever booster packs or buying whatever booster packs you can if they have those available to you. And from there, it's singles. But I am excited. A lot of the stores in my area are learning to hold on to those packs now and not just sell them all out. So they're actually able to give them out to for events and help keep the community alive and give people a reason to come in and play. Uh, but it is still very hard to get product. So yeah, I've seen the numbers for some locals dwindling, and hopefully the stores this time around learn their lesson and they're able to foster their community a lot better this time around. And hopefully Lorcana will continue to grow until set three and
Mm-hmm.
things will normalize there.
Yeah, and obviously with set three, where we'll have the official OP announcement and like all those fan events, so like that could get people back on the hype train. It could get people interested into the game again. Before I share my full thoughts, Spencer, do you have any thoughts on the release of set two and where you're at with all that?
A lot of the same stuff. I I'll probably be okay on product. I'm almost certain I can secure 2 boxes at decent prices, and plus one of my LGSs actually holds product for drafts. So I know I've got a draft coming up on Sunday. They were going to run sealed, but I guess they changed it to draft.
Yeah, don't be
Um,
skipping them drafts again, Sneaky.
yeah. Oh yeah. I skipped out on my last draft so that we could record our last our reveal video, and in that draft it was from the second wave boxes. Out of 3 boxes, they pulled 8 enchanteds.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
that's just
That's
wild. That is
insane.
crazy
Yeah,
to me.
that's
Yeah.
wild.
So haven't seen anything like that since Gen Con. So yeah, that was oh well, I missed out. And
We got
We
a
did.
reveal though.
True.
yes, we did get a reveal.
You can't have
But
everything, you know?
yeah, my biggest concern is like that one LGS is doing pretty good. They're having like like half Ks and drafts and stuff like that. But they're an hour away, so I can't make it over there unless it's for like an event. I can't go to locals like all the time. But my locals is just it's dead. Um like there's 2-3 people showing up every week, and that's the big concern for me. And so I've talked to the people that are running it, and so they didn't hold any product or for set 1, so they're planning to hold product for set 2. So hopefully by being able to offer product and incentives for people to show up to play, then we can get some more people coming. But again, if people can't get a hold of product, then they're going to show up and they're going to be getting stomped by people that do have product. And it's a vicious cycle that we're at right now until things get figured out. But the cards are cool. I'm excited for a lot of the new archetypes that are present. And so I'm still excited for set 2. It's just how much am I going to get to play it is the real question.
Yeah, it's a question we're all pondering. And I think we all knew that coming into this it would be difficult, but I don't think we realized it would be this difficult. And well, maybe we did. I don't know. But I think it's just my hope is that, like I said earlier, by the time set three comes out, they have had new by that point, which is probably going to be like middle of February for OGS release and first weekend of March for big box release, that they've had enough months and enough time now to figure this out and ramp up that printing, because I gotta think that that set's pretty much done uh, at this point. So just being able to ramp all that up, and they've had time to expand their printing cycle and get more product out, and you know, hoping that that is able to get people into back into the game if they were trying to exit, if they wanted to exit the game and stuff like that. But with set two, I know my big focus is going to be trying to get to drafts and sealed events and all that stuff. But if I'm not able to, then it's mostly just waiting for singles to go at a reasonable price, and hopefully that, wave two of this release helps those drop, because I think we saw there was a definite drop in prices when the wave two of the first chapter came. So I'm hoping to see the same trend there. But yeah, I think set two is here, and it's great that we're at this point. It's been very long time coming. I think that we can now say we have two sets, and we'll be able to say three and four and five, whatever. But yeah, that's that. But now focusing onto the main portion of the episode is set one retrospect. What was set one for us? How did it play out? And the first question I want to bring it to the table is, has the meta shaken out how you thought it would since the start? And Spencer, I'll go to you for this one first. What do you think about the meta so far?
Um, I mean, has it shaken out like we thought it would? I'd say no, because coming into things, at the beginning, back in the day, if you look at Gen Con, what decks people were building, stuff like that, it was a lot of Sapphire Steel and a couple other things here and there. No one really saw Ruby Amethyst coming, and we can thank in my opinion, Jalen for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And he kind of popularized the deck, and it really just took over.
He created a
And
monster.
then
You can say
yeah, for sure.
it.
And then the Sapphire, or sorry, the Amber Steel. I think that people saw the Stitch variant or the Rockstar variant pretty early on, but then it evolved into the mid-range variant, which nobody really saw coming, and then it kind of hybridized towards the end there. So I don't think that one was a huge surprise, but it was a surprise how dominant it was in the meta. And then once those two kind of took over, everything else just kind of came down to people trying to beat them, and that's really where we got a lot of more surprises. Like I really like the Amber Sapphire, and it was designed to counter those two decks. Um, so yeah, I think overall the meta was pretty surprising how it shaked out. A lot of people at the beginning were once again, I was either Sapphire Steel or Lemon Lime was like what people were building in Gen Con and stuff, and neither of those decks ended up being competitive.
Yeah, I'm a victim to the Sapphire Steel and building that, and really not having a deck to play because that kind of sucks now. But that's okay. Sean, I will go to you next. How do you feel about the meta shaking out since Gen Con? Because I know like we were all racing to build these decks. I know you were looking at Steel Emerald, and that's been a viable deck so far. But what do you think about the meta so far?
I for sure don't think the meta. I don't think any of us knew where it was going.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all had our own opinions, and we all built what decks we thought were going to be good. Just like Sneaky said, a lot of people were banking on Sapphire Steel to be a heavy hitter, and it just didn't. It just couldn't get there. Also, a lot of things that a lot of people thought were going to be strong ended up really not seeing as much play. Like a lot of people thought like an evasive heavy deck, like when we didn't have all the cards, evasive heavy decks could dominate because you just couldn't do anything to them.
Mm-hmm.
But we all saw that just didn't actually turn out to to be a thing. I know that like some people played evasive packages and saw like some victories, but I don't think anything like that maybe once top aided. Um, I personally, and I know a lot of other people felt this way, thought it was going to be a lot more prevalent than it was. And lemon lime, that the amber emerald deck.
We got Sean to say lemon lime.
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
right? I know. You can only fight it for so long. You can only fight it for so long. I built that deck and it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun deck if you get a really good opening hand or a really good mulligan, you can pop off, and sometimes you can just beat people to the end, and by the time they can stabilize, you have like 17 lore. So that's one Cusco and game's over. So it still didn't hold a candle to the control and the singing decks, obviously, but you know, I'd love to. I can't wait to see what Set 2 brings personally, because I think that it'll be another we didn't see that coming moment, because we're still all learning this game.
100%. And I will say to that evasive point, I not to toot my own horn, but I did top 8 with an evasive based Ruby Amethyst deck in a Lorcana HQ tournament. But I just like evasives, and I thought they would work. And it worked until it didn't, and it worked until I got absolutely stomped in top 8. But you know what? That's okay. You live and you learn. But Blake, I will go to you. How is the meta shaking out for you, in your opinion, and what do you think about it all?
Not too much more to add, but I do want to say I don't believe that the meta was ever solved. There's still decks coming out from the set one cards. Like we got the Emerald Amethyst bounce deck that's been seeing a lot of play since like even before Miami. I think it was seeing play, and not to toot my own horn, but we got the Emerald Sapphire top high five deck that did make top 8 a few 1Ks, and has done pretty well. And I've been talking with a bunch of people in the Discord, and we've been renovating that deck like almost every week, just seeing what new cards could fit in, uh, and definitely right now we're mostly talking about what this deck is going to look like for set 2. But even leading up, people are asking what this deck looks like now, and from when it first showed up in 1K to now, we've made so many renovations to it, and it's just a really fun deck to keep playing with and molding. And set 1 isn't solved, so, and we're getting into set 2, so I don't know if we'll ever see what a solved set 1 would look like.
I don't think we ever really will ever see what a solved TCG is in the first place.
Yeah.
Nothing is.
That's the sign of a
true.
good game, though. That's a sign of a great game.
Yeah, I'm gonna hard disagree with that, Teddy.
What do you? Well, I mean, like, when you look at Pokemon, there's always new decks that are coming from sets. There's always new Magic decks.
Dude, and Pokemon's a great example. For the last 2 years, there have been 2 top decks. Mew and or sorry, 3 top decks. Mew, Lost Box, and the dude that drops the
Lugia.
Archeopses. What's his
Lugia.
name? Yeah, Lugia. Like, that's it. Those, if you're not playing one of those decks, you're pretty much done
It's
skiing.
true, but I also believe there's also different variants of those decks. Like the Lugia, there's different ways to come out. There's different, and I think Pokemon is a very it's deck building have like focused. If you need like the exact right deck list, and so to me, maybe it's just my mind. Like I feel like
Yeah, you gotta make meta calls and you gotta tech
Yeah.
appropriately. But that's
I don't know. We'll see. But I do understand what you're saying there, because yeah, those 3 decks have been at the top for a very long time, and I don't know if they'll ever come down until they go out of rotation. Which Mew, I believe, is going out of rotation soon.
I think all three of those are going out of rotation basically in like the
is
next 6 months.
no. Oh yeah, actually true. 'Cause they're on E. Yeah, that is true. Lugia is a V, not an EX. But yeah, the next question I have for everyone: what has been your favorite set or card of set one? Spencer, I'll hit you first on this one. What has been your favorite card of set one?
I'm gonna have to go. I'm a cop out. I'm a pick two. One
Hmm.
because it's my underrated pick, and that's Scepter of Arendelle.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Scepter is slept on so hard. It's such a great card. Although the new Alice really makes it sad, but it's still a good card. Um, and other than that, I'm a big Stitch fan, and so I'm gonna go with. Despite Rockstar Stitch getting me into the game, I'm not as big a fan of his playstyle. But Surfer Stitch turned out to be ridiculous. Just that 4/8
It's
body
true.
and the drawing two cards, like he's so good. And so much he's so rewarding to play and to get off. So that's gonna be my pick.
Sean, your top card, not top card, favorite card or top card from the first set of Disney Lorcana?
I feel like this is anybody that knows me could guess. It's gonna be my homeboy Cusco though.
Yep. I was,
Cusco MVP dog, like such such a good card. Pretty much anytime you can play him, you can put him down, and he does work.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, definitely Cusco for my favorite card of set one.
Blake, you got your favorite card from the first chapter?
I am going to say, just to write off of Spencer's a little bit, I do also appreciate the Scepter of Arendelle. Before I settled on the Sapphire Emerald deck, I was playing a Sapphire Amethyst deck, and that card was so nice for me. It, no one saw it coming. No one. It,
That's the
it,
best.
it it's it saw so much play and helped me win many a game, but unfortunately I couldn't build that specific deck for Miami, so I ended up going with Sapphire Emerald, and from that Sapphire Emerald deck, I'm gonna have to go with. Since Sean talked about Cusco, I'm gonna have to go with discount Cusco with Donald strutting his
Yeah,
stuff.
good card. It's a very good card.
He was definitely a
Yeah,
sleeper too,
solid.
because I know a lot of people didn't think he was gonna do any work in set one.
I
Oh,
mean,
I talked trash about that card.
I know you did. I know. I wasn't trying to call you
I mean, even at Miami, I believe I told the story of how the person that took me out is like, "Wow, I've never seen anyone play Donald." But yeah, he just has a lot of memories for me for this set. Getting to play against his artist, Camp
Mm-hmm.
Kendall, and their first Lorcana match, and that is the card I got signed at Miami. So a lot of memories tied to him. So that also ekes him up there for my favorite card. But there's it is hard to pick one because there are a lot of amazing cards in this set. But I will settle with Donald with all the great memories that he has brought me for this set.
Yeah. Uh,
Awesome.
for me, I think mine's gonna have to be Elsa's Spirit of Winter, just because. I mean, every time you play her down, one, you get to stop two cards from doing things. It opens them up for challenges, and you also have a three lore quester on the board. And I think obviously Elsa has one of the best cards in the set, but I also think it's just been one of my favorites to play. And and even like shift down, which I never usually did in when I played Ruby Amethyst because I would focus on getting to be prepared and then playing her after. But when I didn't need to play be prepared, shifting her down always wasn't the best. It wasn't always the worst idea, and I think that was something that the shift part of her was slept on a bit, in my opinion. Yeah, those are all of our favorite cards of set one. So speaking of set 1 cards. Obviously, that's what we're talking about. But what do you guys think will be a set 1 card that sees more play when set 2 drops? And Sean, I will start with you on this one.
That is a very, very good question.
I ain't a journalism major for nothing.
Yeah,
Or
right,
was.
right. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Hakuna Matata sees more play, just because there's the healing suite now, and there's an actual payoff for the heals. So I think that sees more play. And we could even see something as bananas as Steel Hans being played. Adding that 1 damage to chosen character unlocks a lot of possibilities with the new what's Raya is Shift Raya. When she swings into damaged character, she doesn't take damage from it. So I could see fun ways of abusing that. But I don't know. Beyond that, I think it's going to be more of the same, really. I think a lot of the good heavy hitters will stay like in the main, but I mean, because like all the good stuff kind of already gets played, in my opinion. A lot of the good stuff, at least.
It's very true. I think that's the thing with only having 1 set of card pool, you have so limited options in retrospect to other TCGs. But Blake, I'll go to you next. What do you think a card from set 1? It doesn't see much play now. What do you think that card is that's going to see more play when a set 2 releases?
Yeah, I know this one will probably see some more testing. I can't speak to how much play he'll actually get in the long run. But I believe Mickey Mouse Artful Rogue will get some more testing with the Actions Matters decks.
I could see that. I could see that.
Might see some experimenting. We'll see where the cards lie at the end for that deck, but he'll at least get tested out some more.
We did see a lot of really good actions come in this set too.
Yeah,
so far.
And to think we only have we still have 40 more cards to get released this week, which is insane. Pinch me, someone.
But as of today,
I didn't realize that many had been released.
It's been a steady stream of 3 to 5 a day.
We got some on the weekend too, which was wild. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't open Twitter at all because I wasn't expecting it. And you know what? I have 20 cards I have to retweet out.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw it on Twitter, but there is product in the wild of set 2 right now.
Product in the wild.
For shame. Whoever did that, for shame.
Yeah. Yeah, it might want to... Well, by the time you're listening to this, you know about it.
Oh, yeah. You'll know about it.
Yeah.
I was say, be careful on Twitter. But...
Our message from the future that failed to get there on time.
All right, Spencer. What do you think a card from set 1 what do you think the card I don't know, words, geez. Yeah, they are, especially when it's 10:45 on a Sunday night after a long weekend. What do you know what the question I'm going to ask is? Just you know what I'm asking.
This is not getting edited.
Oh, I know it's not. I know Blake's leaving this in. This is going to be all over.
I don't think I'm going to touch this episode. I'm going to download it and just send it to you.
Just
good play,
bud.
Good play. For me, I'm going to cop out because I can't think of any.
You always do.
Exactly. So I'm going to instead talk about how we're going to be seeing a lot more different color archetypes that are a lot more viable and present than we have before. Sapphire is getting a lot of draw and a lot of more things going for it, that I think we're going to see it mixed with a whole bunch of different colors that we couldn't see before. Sapphire, like the Ruby Sapphire, is going to get way better, and then mixing it with a bunch of other colors. Emerald Steel is going to be big, like what Sean was just talking about, using the Hans to ping stuff. There's a lot of Emerald Steel damage matters.
I know a lot of people didn't think that I know a lot of people didn't think that Robin Hood that pings was any good. I think that archetype proves wrong.
I still think it's bad.
Just being able to get that one-off damage, I think that's going to come
For
in
now.
a lot more clutch than we think it is.
Actually, for some cards that haven't seen play yet, what do we think of the items matters cards? Are those going
I
to see more
don't.
play?
I
I actually haven't been paying any attention to how many
we've
items
gotten a
we've
lot.
got.
There's
Because
Yeah.
we need cheap items. Like that's the key.
Yeah.
They need to be
I
cheap so
mean-
you can just dump them.
Popsicle by itself is going to be huge for the
Popsicle
items
is gonna-
matters.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Nick Wilde, shout out, love that guy.
Yeah. So if we see more stuff like that, then for sure.
It's a great name.
The
He's lucky.
he doesn't like
the
popsicles,
new
though.
one that's basically an enchantment that just makes all your exerted stuff have ward is so dope.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the sardine can?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Sardine
Yeah.
Cannon
Also-
is really good.
Also, rescuers, yes.
that
Yeah.
was
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
A lot of people didn't
I
catch
was
that.
not expecting that.
I had to do like 3 takes, and I was
Mhm.
like, wait,
That's what that
Did-
is.
yeah.
This is
so that's the
Rescuers?
that's the
Rescuers?
second unknown IP that was shown.
Yep.
Also,
which is pretty
speaking of
dope.
unknown
I don't remember what
IPs,
the first one was.
the launch card is the first card to not be based on a movie, but to be based in Lorcana. Anyone catch that? Launch.
one?
It's the action card that
Like-
you banish an item and you deal 5 damage
It was like
to
the one
something.
launching the coconut out. It was in an article.
Oh yeah.
And they said that it was like the first one that wasn't based in a movie, but based in the world of Lorcana, which I thought was awesome to see.
that is really
Yeah.
cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Spencer, did you have any? Did we interrupt? I didn't know if you were still going there.
I don't even remember, man. As soon as we started talking about the rescuers, that was all I could think about.
That's valid. That's
Rescuers.
valid.
I will say I do agree with your initial answer, and it is a valid answer that we are going to see way more ink color combos this time around.
Well, speaking of more ink colors, next question is: what are your expectations heading into set 2 now that we have a full set under our belts? Blake, you're up.
I have a question. What do you mean by this?
Like now that we maybe I worded this wrong.
Up to your interpretation.
Yeah, I asked the question.
What do you think it means,
Extrapolate.
Blake?
Now that like we've experienced a full set and we've seen how it shapes out, how do you think is it going to be the same as set 2? We're gonna see we have these archetypes in our mind that we think are gonna be good, but those aren't good. How, like in that terms, how do you think it's going to shape out now that we've experienced a full set of Lorcana?
I'm going to say it's going to be just as unpredictable as the first set was.
Where I was gonna go with it, so
I'm no expert yet on TCGs, so I cannot really give what I feel is accurate predictions. I just know I'm going to have a lot of fun experimenting with the new archetypes and stuff that are presented. And I'm just going to have fun and run away with coming up with deck profiles and stuff.
a good Blake deck profile. Spencer, Sean, anything to add to that question? I'm not going to say it again because I'm going to.
Well, now we're gonna play chicken.
That is true.
Come on.
Oh, our expectations? Oh man, where do I start? I think we're gonna see a lot of testing of decks like the upgraded Emerald Amethyst bounce with all the Mim and Merlin shenanigans that are gonna happen. I could see a really fun Ruby Amber Damage Matters deck that could be a lot of fun. Like you see Donald, that new Donald gets better the more damage he has on him. Or the more lore. So then you quest him, drop Rapunzel, heal him up, draw cards. Like I could see something really fun like that coming out and getting tested a lot. It's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be really cool because I think it's kind of gotten stagnant where we're at. Everybody's like, we've seen these decks, we've seen what we're gonna see for now, so we want to move to what's new, and the possibilities are pretty crazy. Like, and we could see something that nobody expected.
The possibilities are
sure.
endless, for sure. Don't know why I'm in different accents now, but I'm talking like that. Spencer, what do you think about this question?
Don't do that. Just don't.
That's
That's advice.
what he thinks. Don't do that.
Just life advice. Just don't do that. Um,
Okay.
as for my expectations, pretty similar. I think things are going to be very fluid. We're going to see a lot of new decks, a lot of new archetypes. Things are going to be tested out a lot. Old decks are going to be revised, revisited. It's going to be pretty much like it is with any new card game.
Mhm.
Any new set in a card game. So that's super exciting. The cool thing about this set in particular is just that it adds a whole lot of things that wasn't there in set one. So I mean, set one, it was, as most card games are with set one, it's pretty basic. You've got aggro, mid range control, and everything fits into one of those. But now with the ability to gain lore outside of questing and a lot of other interactions in the game, we're going to start seeing combo decks, which there were no combo decks outside of item slingers. But even then, that was very basic. And so that's going to be super exciting to see that archetype really take off and see how it develops further on in the future. And I think just the fact that an Emerald Amethyst deck could potentially win when they're at 13 lore,
Yeah,
like
that's insane.
is just gonna change the whole way the game plays.
Yeah, that is one thing that I do predict will happen is that this game is going to get a lot faster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ruby Amethyst is no more. Um, yeah, I think for me, heading into set two, I'm like a lot of like, what you guys have said is like we don't really know what's going to happen. We don't know what cards are going to be good. We don't know. Oh, okay. We do know a card. Okay, let's reword that. Words are just been hard tonight for me. Uh, we do know what cards are good, and we have an idea of what cards are going to be good. We have an idea of what could be played, but like we thought we had that idea at the start of set one and at Gen Con. Whoop de doo, that's not what happened after. That's not what's good now. uh, and so I think that's the same thing as happened in set two. I'm expecting to see these cards that maybe we don't think are going to be good become good or become more viable than we think they are. But my final question to you all tonight is: are there any other thoughts on set one as a whole? Anyone have any big ideas that they want to talk about from set one leading into set two?
What? Any
Yeah.
other thoughts? Is that what we're doing? No, I mean, we kind of touched on it. I think we've kind of seen where the set is, so I don't know how, unless we get some really crazy bombs in the last 40 cards, like we kind of know what's gonna. We have an idea of where this is going. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I'm happy with it. I think it's a lot of people have been shouting power creep, which I don't think that's the case yet. It's too new of a game. I don't think we can safely call it power creep yet. Um, just because they print cards that are strictly better than other cards doesn't necessarily mean power creep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm very hopeful that it's really really fun, just like the first set was really really fun, and can't wait already. Can't wait for set three.
Blake, any thoughts on set one as a whole? Any other pondering ideas you have swirling up there?
Um, Gonna make me sound so old, like I'm sitting here with my brain on idle. um, it's gonna be weird, but I'm sure there's gonna come a day where we're gonna look back and say, I kind of miss the set one days.
Yeah.
Oh, not really, but maybe more of the set one cards, because eventually a lot of them will just be outclassed with what comes out in the future, and there are only a few select cards that I think will withstand the test of time for sets and sets and sets to come. Like even the Sapphire Emerald deck, I think most of the cards that we've looked at on the Discord, um, at least a good half of the deck, if not even more, is being replaced by set 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
So going to look back fondly on some of these as they don't see playing anymore, but there's a lot of fun cards here in set 1, and they still got some life in them, and I guess kind of bittersweet. So
Ah, that was the word I was going to use to lead into mine.
Speaking of bittersweet, Sneaky, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I was literally gonna say the same thing and just be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go with some bittersweet old man vibes too. But more just looking at it from the stance of, we've been following this game for a while, and the lead up to set 1 was like such a big deal, and it was so special to us. And then we went to Gen Con, and we all had, well, most of us went to Gen Con, uh, and and it was all, it was just such an experience, leading up to set 1. And then now that set 1's, we're past it, and now we're going into set 2. Now it's just gonna be more of the same. It's just every 3 months we get a new set. These are the new cards. Let's see what new decks we can build. And it's fun and exciting, but it lacks the same like oomph, I guess,
Yeah.
that
I get what
Yeah.
you're
set
saying.
1 did. No other set in the future is going to be as special as set
No,
1 was.
absolutely not.
Unless there's a set that
And
releases on a Disney cruise tournament.
Keeping Teddy up with all of our snoring.
God,
That's just,
I don't want to experience that again.
Yes.
I need a massage after that.
It was such a cool, fun experience. Like Sneaky said, I don't think anything will ever match it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah.
unless we all
Unless
make
they
it to
do like a
Worlds.
really crazy 10-year anniversary thing for it, and we all go. That would be crazy. But
Content creator royale. That would be awesome.
right.
Yeah, I think the only thing that could probably match it is the first Worlds.
Yeah.
That could. Yeah, I like where your
Yeah.
head's at. So yeah, and we'll know more about that. What, the
2
January
months.
supposedly?
2 months. That's crazy.
Yeah, for their
Yep.
official stuff. Yeah.
Start saving up those miles, boys.
Well, yeah. That has been set 1. We are now on to set 2. The memories, the ups, the downs, everything that came with set 1 is going to be something we all remember for a lifetime, I think. And I think we all hold it very close to our hearts because it was something that truly changed our lives. This game has changed all of our lives, but yeah, I think it's just awesome to see how this game has brought us together, how it's brought this community together, how it's brought so many people together that wouldn't have ever come together, I don't think. And to all those listening, thank you. Because it's been a year basically since we started this, or since the idea has come. And we do have our 1 year anniversary episode coming up very shortly in December. But just because this was like right around the time where we did start, I believe it was November 6th is when we first started talking about it. Thank you to everyone who's listened and supported us for the past year. Through all of the spoilers, through all the reveals, when we had an Olaf card and to talk about over winter break last year, we are all so excited, and we had one card to talk about. And you still listened, and we wanted to say thank you to everyone who has supported us. And yeah, set 2 is here. We hope everyone enjoys it. We hope everyone enjoys their opening weekends, that they pull all the enchanteds. We still need to see those enchanteds, and that they get the best of luck in their tournaments. Yeah, that's all we got. Everyone, Glimmer on.